What is up, guys? It is Greg from Team Hybrid BMX. So we're gonna give you guys a couple more shots of what I'm doing here with the ramp. No one really commented, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just do it at this point. I've come up with an idea that I think it's gonna work, so we're just gonna roll with it. And the first thing we're gonna use is this trusty bike here to help us out. So first thing I wanted to do is check where this thing would sit in the vert if I built a vert ramp. So usually you do this with the wood on to make it a little easier, but this time we're not going to. But I think that's going to be, the vert's going to be a little bit, maybe a little heavy. So we might go up one more right to about here. Or we might stay down here. I don't know yet. So this is the tricky part. The tricky part is trying to figure out where exactly you want, how big you want your vert to be. So I think we want the vert to be about here. So wherever this board is, I think that'll be perfect. That'll give you just enough pop, not too much pop, just enough pop to get it going. So now you're probably wondering, okay, so what's the next part of the plan? What are you gonna do next? Well, the next plan is to get out our trusty Sawzall right here, this guy. Now, this is another piece of the +1 system. I got it as a combo system for Christmas the one year because, you know, dad gift, awesome. But the reason I got the +1 system though, other than I got it for Christmas, is that all the batteries work for the same equipment. So whether it's the drill or the Sawzall, I have the same battery. So I can just boom, boom, done. And then every other battery I have, I can already have it charging, so that way I can just go back. So what we're gonna do is, in a non-scientific way whatsoever, is cut these two boards off just the way it is. Leave the frame just the way it is. Check it out. I'm going to come right here. I'm going to cut this board off right here and do the exact same thing to the other side. So we have one big section, one big sweeping section, okay? And then we're going to screw out these boards, and we're going to use, hopefully, this piece of plywood to build two more sections just like these, so I have two sides. And then we're going to cut this right down the middle, every board the same size right down the middle, and then we'll have two sets, two sides of our fun box, and then we'll use either a pallet stacked sideways at 4 foot, because these are 8 foot long. These 2x4s are 2x4 by 8. So we'll have 4 foot sections, so 4 foot by 4 foot, and then we'll have a 4 foot box that's probably 6 foot long, is what I'm thinking, because I think this top board right here was about 7 foot. So we'll have a 7 foot long section, and then we'll take, you'll see. I'm not gonna get into the details too much. Let's just cut this thing while we still got some daylight. All right. Let's see, in a non-scientific way, make sure we're kind of lined up. There we go. Alright, and we're sawed off there, and now we saw off the other side. Same exact thing. Kind of look for the other line. Another thing you can do is, hold on guys, we're gonna get another clip. Just give me just a second, we're gonna get another clip. Okay, so you guys can't see it, but I can. But right down here, I just took my Sharpie, and where I cut, I put a black line. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, so what's the point of putting a black line if you already cut it? This is the point. Using your eyes, you can kind of use your eyes as somewhat of a level, so that way you know exactly kind of where to cut. So I cut roughly about a quarter inch off. It'll be close. We'll see. We'll just see. Okay, guys, here we go. Now I get my Sawzall. Now look at where that line is, and I kind of try to line up right about the same exact where that is. And another way you can do it is just by trying to clear that board right there. Okay, now at this point, this half of the ramp is sectioned off. See? Ta-da! We got a section off piece of the ramp. So, now the next thing we're going to have to do is figure out how to get our next section of piece off. And the way we're going to do that is by unscrewing these two top boards right here. Get this top off right here, this part right here. That's got to come off. So now we got to get our screw gun back out. Take this whole section apart finally. Get it screwed out from the pallet that holds it together. And then once we have that established, then we'll take a piece of wood and we'll stencil out these, and that way we'll have two more sections for the middle of this. And then we'll measure this to 4 foot, so that way we make sure we get a nice precise cut on every single board, so that way when we come back through and line everything up, everything lines up nice and we have two sides of a fun box. Alright guys, so here, let me try to face you more this way so you can see what the heck I'm doing. There we go. Okay, so now the next thing I have to do is I have to take all these screws out. Oopsie. And make sure you go in the right direction. That's important. Okay, so now that's the core supports board. Those are all loosened out of there. I got a lot of screws to go though. I gotta take off this top board. I don't know if you guys remember yesterday's video, or today's video I guess, because it's not posted. But I did the video yesterday. But anyways, now I gotta come over to this side, relieve this side of it. I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's only 2 screws holding it. See how cool it worked though? Boom. Okay, that's off of there. Made it easier for taking it apart for sure. Okay. Now that's taken out. The next thing we gotta take out is the 4x4 that's connected. This is already disconnected from me moving the ramp. I took the deck is separate from the vert. I did that on purpose so that way if I ever decide to take it apart or whatever, it'd be a lot more simple. And I don't know if you guys remember the build. If you go back and watch the videos, I kind of built the vert first and then the deck. At first this was literally just a piece of vert, and that was it. So at this point, this should be the last screw. Yep, there she goes. It looks like there's one more on the other side maybe that I didn't get. And this top 4x4 will be out of here. Let me make sure I got all of them. I think I'm missing one right here, maybe. So I'm not seeing anything in there. Either that or it's just so close. There it goes. This thing you gotta be careful with particle board, guys. It'll break right apart. Particle board is trash. It really is. Alright, so we got that support core out. So now I got a big old 4x4 to use for probably, honestly, the deck is what I'll use those for. I got another one back here, and obviously I got the 2 that hold the sign and the brace up here. So I got some ideas. We're cooking something here. But first things first is we got to get all this stuff taken care of. So I'm just going to keep it going. By the way, how are all y'all doing today? You should leave me a comment or a like or subscribe. Because I think later on tonight, just before Katie goes to work, that Rob and Duke and I are going to go out riding. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. We'll see. Not 100% on that, but pretty sure. So that's a scary thought. I'm kind of glad I took this thing apart because there were parts of this ramp that were getting really sketchy at the exact same time. Like this. These are all sheared off. Every single one of these top ones was sheared off. So, note to self, when I build the next ramp, is to not have so much pressure built into this thing. Because that's what created all that. That's all stress fracturing. That's what that is. It's all stress cracking and stuff. So when you're taking these 2x4s out, guys, if you're doing it alone, you're really better off, if you don't want to destroy your OSB, kind of leaving, like for instance like this one, leave a screw hanging in there a little bit, so that way when you take off this next side, it doesn't rip your OSB to bits. So with regular plywood, With regular plywood, you don't have to worry about that, because the regular plywood, it doesn't rip apart really easily. Unlike this stuff, it's just kind of, the thing that's kind of crappy about OSB is it's really flimsy. Really, really flimsy. It's not the best stuff to use in the world. If it does this, just go ahead and just rip it out. It'll be fine, because we're going to be rebuilding this whole entire piece anyway. So, and frankly, we probably won't even be using the top very much. So we pull our makeshift 2x4s out. And this is a core supported 2x4. I pretty much made a 2x4 out of a couple of pieces of scrap that I had laying around. But it actually ended up being better because it was reinforced. So, good deal. Alright, see what I mean by repurposing stuff, guys? How much easier it can make life? So here we go. Now we're going to take out this one right here. Try to ease this down if you can. If it's having a real big struggle, you can take something and put it in the way of it, just to support it till you get the other side out. Now you're really going to clean up. Alright, so now we're going to get this side out. Just a little bit of problems, just kind of push down on it sometimes, that'll help. Like just put it on the board itself, it'll usually just pop loose, and then you can either unscrew it by the top, push it through, or bore it through, or use a hammer to pop it out. That works too. Alright, so all those boards are now bye-bye. There's only one left. Well, there's two boards left technically that are holding this stuff up. Other than that, there is nothing. Nothing's holding this up. It's a floater. It's a floater. Okay, so let's get to that part. Oh yeah. Alright guys, now after a little bit of cleanup, I can move on to the next section, which is taking the last 4x4 out and taking both of these side pieces of OSB off completely so I can use them as forms for the rest of my quarter. So let's get that next part done. All right. Unscrewing, unscrewing. Lots of freaking unscrewing. So I put about 4 screws on each piece of this 4x4. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to make sure that it was really well enforced. So now before I pull this last screw though, which honestly feels like it's kind of snapped off anyway, I'm going to come over to this side and relieve the screws on this side. And that way we don't get the flop effect, where it breaks off and snaps all the screws off, and then you're left with scrapped out wood and just a big mess. So there's Uno. Goes, it's snapped off. See what I mean, guys? Like, it's amazing how abusive you are to this kind of stuff. Before you know it, it's all broken. You can pull back on the wood that you're working on a little bit to create some friction, so that way, see, pop right out like that. Okay, now we can relieve the other side with the last screw, wherever that may be. Here we go. That helped me find it on its own. So it's right here. So we just pull back on this one, push on the other one, and bang-o. There goes the 4x4. And then you pick that guy up out of there. And there we go, we got another 4x4. Okay. 4x4x8. Alright, now we just gotta relieve it from the pallet, and we'll have 2 more pieces of wood to use as forms to build a box. So, we're almost there, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. You're going to watch how to remove any and all screws that were left behind, so that way you don't have a big old mess. There we go. Okay. So, we're almost there. On the home stretch. we're taking this apart and starting to try to build a new one. Oh, found another one. Where is it? There it is. There's another two. Last one holding the, this one's a moment of truth. There we go. Alright guys, now I have all the screws removed from that side. That comes right off, and now I've got a nice piece of OSB to, what are you doing? He was up on the counter. Crazy man. Crazy man was up on the counter grabbing stuff, man. Alright, what is up guys? I'm back again. So, just about to cut this section. Got out my handy dandy jigsaw. This is an important tool for you guys to have. You can cut it with a Sawzall, but it's going to be extremely difficult. So go out to Harbor Freight if you have one in your area, or any kind of cheap hardware store, and get yourself a pluggable jigsaw. I think I got this one for like 15, 20 bucks. It's come out in a pinch a lot of times. It's been really helpful. You can change the blades out so you can use them for metal. So if you guys want to do your bar ends with this thing, you could. I don't suggest to do it, but you could. But it's just good for cutting angles and stuff. It makes it a lot easier. So we're gonna get started by cutting this section right here. And usually it's good to have another person to help you. In this case I don't, so I'm just gonna have to do it on my own and kind of wing it. But it's all good because I have it on the section that I want. And now I just cut it along. Find the line and cut it along the line. I just got my first transition. So now I've got another transition. Now it looks a little sketch right now because the back's like kind of like cut off and weird, but I measured it just right so that way it would work with that. I put it right up against it, and now when I'm done cutting it, it should line right up. Alright guys, here I'm going to try to get the transition in here for you so you can see. Let me back this up a little bit, maybe you can see a little bit better. There we go. Just ramp up a little bit. Okay, now you can see the full transition. The piece I cut, it lines right up. Should. There we go. And now I've got my other side of my transition so that I can build a 4-foot section, and then now I'm going to cut the other one to build the other 4-foot section. Alright guys, so the way I cut this transition was a little bit different from the one I cut the last one. And the reason that is because when I built the last ramp, the way I built it is that I cut one side and then I cut the other side. So in order to get the transitions to line up just right when you're building the fun box, you're not going to have, both these sides are not perfect. So I made this side perfect to this one, and I made this one perfect to that side way down there. And I did that on purpose so that way both my fun box sides will line up. They might not line up with the transition completely perfect, but they'll be close. So, and I can always use my jigsaw to hack off whatever I need, any extra that I have left over. So, but let me cut down the middle now from 4 foot all the way down, and we'll hem these two sections in together, and then we'll lay down the board and bango. We should be pretty close to done. What is up guys? So, as you can see, transition number 1, which still needs, I'm going to put 1 more or 2 more boards in there just to be safe, but, and transition number 2. So 1 and 2. So I got 2 transitions. They're the same height. that'll work. Now, the controversy is, I mean, I'm kind of glad anyways, because this piece of wood already had a big old hole in it, which I'm not too happy about. The only thing that's going to suck about this, kind of, is that this is a 4-foot section, so it will work perfectly on that. But here's the issue. Here's the problem. This was cut in half, or cut in a quarter right here. So I have to take these off, this decking off, and I'm going to use that for the transitions. And it's pretty solid still. It's just got a little bit of a warp in it from being pushed down for so long, but that's okay. As soon as I put it into the transition, it'll be fine. It'll bend right back to the way it should be. And then I'm going to use both these sections to build those. And then this big section right there, that big piece, that big 4-foot by 8-foot piece, that's going to be the deck. And then we're going to use these. You guys will see. It's going to be really cool. This fun box is going to be dope. It's going to be awesome. And the wonderful thing about it, it's going to be a lot more movable, and I can keep it stored in the garage for the winter, and I don't have to worry about it getting messed up. So time to take that off, and then I'll get back to you guys once I have that cut up and put on here. Hey, what's up guys? It's Greg from Team Hybrid BMX. So I'm just playing a little bit of Tony Hawk's American Wasteland on a PS2. And yeah, that's right, I do have an Xbox One. But it's good to pull out the old console and have some fun, especially on a rainy, crappy day like today, where I really can't work on the ramps or anything like that. So the reason I'm having this video at the end of this video is because I'm going to do a part 1 and a part 2. I was looking at the amount of editing that I was doing and how long the video was, and the first video is like 20 minutes and the other video is 20 minutes. And I know from me being a YouTube viewer too, I don't want to watch more than 20 minutes of video usually, unless it's like a documentary or something like that. I really don't want to watch 40 minutes of the same exact video about the same exact thing. So I'm going to split it up into 2 different sections, one with just me working on the flyouts, and then part 2 is me and Dookie G working on the flyouts and then testing them when we're done. So just check it out guys, and we'll catch you next time on Team Hybrid BX. Make sure you watch part 2 so that way you guys see the rest of it being built, and then there will also be a part 3 where we build the deck. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be awesome. Just check it out guys, and I'll catch you next time on Team Hybrid BMX. Deuces.